So this Pod Save America point, you still want to talk about that?
Yes, I do. No, I really want to talk about how much I fucking hate John Levitt, that he's a piece of that spreads lies for money. Crooked media is called crooked media for a reason. It's not just because it's a colloquial name for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I think I have like three or four messages that I pulled from our signal that we talked about.
I'm sure we'll do pretty well off those three.
Yes. So let's see. While Russia is his biggest challenge, Biden also battles wannabe autocrats here at home. That was one. Of
God, I know. It's like, how thirsty can a group of dudes be for Biden? Yeah. It's like, go to Pod Save America.
Biden isn't getting credit for the fact that the economy overall, besides inflation, is doing pretty well. What did we just talk about?
Dude, that was in the first 10 minutes, dude.
Yes.
10 minutes. But overall, I mean, he's got the greatest job growth percentage to date.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's because you started at -10, motherfucker.
They say unemployment is down. You can only be on unemployment for so long. Eventually, no one's going to be on it because you can't do it forever. So what are we talking about? If you stop it right now, eventually no one will be on it. Not because they've got a job, because some of them will. Everyone else will be kicked the fuck off of it because you can only get it for so long. That's not an achievement. We've been at it. The pandemic was 2 years. That's not an achievement. That is not an achievement. I don't understand this. The weird focus on that or almost a year ago, we were like, oh shit, I said, I just figured this out. I didn't know. The unemployment rate doesn't fucking matter. We are talking about the workforce involvement, the workforce participation
rate.
That is what matters. That is the important part of how many people are actually working, not how many people are filing for unemployment. There are a lot of people who don't file for unemployment. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, these people.
And I don't. The way I kind of had a theory that I've been working on because up until this last episode, I hadn't dived into them in a very long time. Right. And we listened to the same episode. We got a lot of the same talking points, I'm sure, about it. But really in the broad strokes of why it is so, what's really important about it is that people listen to these people, man. And
a lot of them.
A lot of people. They are a massively popular podcast. And they lie about I hate the fact that we have to use misinformation these days because misinformation is lies pushed but without motive. And what we're talking about here is a bunch of misinformation being spouted at like great with great responsibility, not responsibility, but like
great power comes great responsibility.
Sure. What they're saying, like they have the credentials or whatever. They have a lot of like background that makes them seem legitimate to most people, right? Yeah. Until they do the hard work enough to find that they're a bunch of psychopaths.
Putin's price hike. This episode is called
Putin's
Pod
price
Save
hike.
America has 279,000 YouTube subscribers, which is 200,000 less than Eric July. Eric July has just under 500,000 YouTube subscribers. These people have 279,000, and one of their episodes 9 days ago is called Putin's price hike, and it has 48,000 views.
48,000, man. That's not that.
Which
that's
is
not
like
that many, man. In the realms of the big boys.
No, exactly. Those are their big ones.
I would kill for those numbers, but they can have them.
3 weeks ago, 39,000 a month ago. Ooh, this one has 222,000. Good God. Oh, that one is in particular, though, because 4 months ago has 28. Oh, this one is about Republican strategist reacts to insane 2022 GOP midterms. So they have a Republican strategist reacting to an ad to a Republican woman who's using a shotgun in her political ad. So that's why that one is so. And I'm sure they boosted that one.
Okay.
If it has that many more, 222,000 versus 39,000. They definitely pumped that was an ad.
They definitely did.
It's only 10 minutes long. It's like a clip from one of their episodes.
Yeah.
So.
And my overall, I guess, theory at this point as to why they exist as an entity at all.
It's because that's not even. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
That's not even Pod Save America. That's a different show. That's Political Experts React. That's just a crooked media show because Pod Save America doesn't have their own YouTube. They're just through crooked media.
Yeah, they are crooked
So that's
media.
not even one of their episodes. That's a different show completely.
cast a wider net. That's what they're doing.
56.
Can't rely on themselves, so they
Yeah.
cast a bigger net.
133,000 views, and this is the episode that has Joe Rogan in the thumbnail.
Oh,
So, a blunt conversation about Joe Rogan. That's, yeah.
oh my God.
So,
I can
again,
only imagine
clickbaity
how
to get
mind-numbing.
133,000 views.
103,000. Oh my God. 133?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
And you have to pull Joe Rogan to do it.
Yeah, exactly, right? So my main point about the Pod Save America crowd, right?
Yes.
Is that they, and in many ways, the commentary crowd, right? They live in this. I think you can argue that all of the members that are a part of both of those podcasts are probably in the elite group of individuals
Yes.
in society.
You work for the Obama administration or the Reagan administration,
Yes.
you're in the elites.
Word. And like Noah Rothman, he's a journalist and all that stuff. He's on TV. He's on MSNBC sometimes. They bring him on. He does things. All the characters, they're all more or less in the elites. Abe's probably the most down low into all of those. But realistically, they're all elites. And so they have they're able to take a different perspective in their commentary on society that somebody like you and I would take, because they don't understand what it is to be like a normal pleb.
Right.
Like the commentary guys like to, like they
Pretend
make
that they
reference to, Abe likes to make reference to the plebs, and Noah, same thing. But, they don't understand that they don't live in reality. They live in a completely different and separate world than people like you and I and everybody that would listen to us occupy. The same rules don't apply to them. They have the opportunities that they are handed are very different compared to somebody like us.
Yep.
It's just a different point of view. They are, in fact, objectively more elite in status when given a Western cultural context than people like you or I. And so they come to different points of views and things like that. The Pod Save America guys go far, far, far to the left. And they live in this weird AOC-esque utopian, world where all they really have is their little pocket of the big city in which they occupy, and the apartment in which they live in, and the small friends group bubble that they live in, and their social media bubble that they live in. These people do not understand what it is to be an everyday American. And so they're able to just have conversations that people like you and I cannot have, because we are indeed affected by the reality in which we exist. They live in a different world.
And I think you can hear it more
In their fucking context.
Pod Save America than you can in
Leftists,
commentary.
yes, because leftists love to hold it over you. They
And
love to
that's-
lord it over you.
we
They
talked-
virtue signal every day, even though they are the elite of the elite of the elite.
Right.
It's the same.
We talked earlier about in that same episode that we listened to when they're like, if people only understood what was really going on,
Yeah.
if Joe Biden was only receiving accurate coverage, then maybe people would really know what was happening.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the economy and you say, I wish that regular people understood that the economy, besides inflation, is pretty good. That's one of the most disconnected things that you could possibly say.
Yeah.
And when you're saying shit like, I wish that people only understood, what was really happening, you're saying, I wish that you were smart enough to see what I was seeing.
Yeah.
Which is a fucking dumb thing to say. That's a stupid thing to be saying to people.
And
That they're
elitist.
not smart enough to understand what's really happening around them.
Yep.
And it requires you to decipher it for them. And you just can barely take the time to do it. You really wish they could do it because it's inconvenience to you.
Yep.
And that's what it sounds like, which is fucking crazy.
Your life is at a point at which you have no external penetration, if you will, into your life. I don't know, that's a bad word, but
God.
you have no external conflicts that come into your life because you have so much money and power that you don't have to deal with the problems that everyday people deal with.
Yeah.
And so you live in an alternate reality in which all you really have to base your perspective on is policy, existing law, legal precedent, and what your friends think about, and that's about it.
Right.
You don't live in the real reality. You know, they live in the political policy realm, and that's it. That's what affects their life, is the concept of this, or the projections of this. The polls say this, so I feel that. They don't live in the real world because they indeed have the privilege of not having to exist in the real world like the rest of us plebs.
Right.
And that's what drives me nuts. The only difference about them and the commentary boys is I like what the commentary boys have to say half the time.
Yeah, and my beef and the beef with them is not that necessarily they're disconnected from
Yeah, I don't get the disconnection from
Americans, because there are a lot of people I think that believe what they think. I think their deal is just they're disconnected from reality.
Yeah.
You know, and not that they're like delusional, but
like the hardcore neocon
the
disconnected.
warhawkery shit. Yeah, like I had one from when I was listening to them, and John Podhoretz he's just looking for someone to bomb. He wants
dude.
someone to fucking throw bombs at him.
So
and
hard.
Greenwald both are like, we can't live in a world in which people think they can just fucking disrespect America. Like, that's a weird way to think in 2022. That's not how that's not how the world is anymore. That we need to throw our dick around because people are making us look dumb. Like, that's not how it works.
That's so funny.
About someone they could bomb, like, oh, I know we can't attack, Russia, obviously, because they're nuclear power.
Well, maybe Belarus.
And John Podhoretz says, well, Belarus isn't a nuclear power. Oh, so let's just fucking bomb them, right? Let's just fucking throw one at them because fuck them, because they can't do it back. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
God,
That's a crazy thing to say.
That's so fucking crazy. He's such a he's such like a classic like boomer neocon, man.
Yeah.
He is the Cold War was his fucking high point. He was on that high and he's looking for it again. He needs a hit of that fucking
Yes.
8-ball Soviet
Yes.
magic, man. It's wild. I don't.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought.